Hassan Musi, a student of Uganda Matters University, Ngozi. I'm having here a session of our agroforestry. In agroforestry, we look at different integrations whereby you expect the growing of crops and having some more trees and animals on one piece of land, or else you can be having animals themselves together with some trees and shrubs. Here we are going to look at the integration whereby there is the possibility of having all in interaction and how the ecosystem itself is being manipulated and survived. Let us have Mr. Brian to take us through the session of the video intake.
I'm Nasasira Brian. We are at Kurika Training Center. Kurika Training Center is located in Namayumba along Hoima Road. It's 40 kilometers from Kampala. It's an incubation center as far as ecological organic agriculture is concerned. We are with students from Uganda Matters University, Natukunda Tarasisia and Susan. We are going to be generally looking at agroforestry. Briefly, agroforestry is an integration of crops, trees and animals on the farm. So everything we are going to be talking about today is going to be rotating in agroforestry. In agroforestry, we talked about having shrubs. That one, it's among the common shrub. It's called Stonia diversifolia. It's a leguminous. Being leguminous, we all know about leguminous plants. They have the rhizobium bacteria. Rhizobium bacteria absorbs or traps that atmospheric nitrogen, fixes into the soil and builds the soil fertility. So there will be the fertility that is added in the soil helps the plants to grow. Once the plants grows, let's say the plants are feeds for the animals. So the feeds will be harvested and taken to the plants, thus bringing that cooperation of the agroforestry element.
We are also looking at the role of agroforestry in enhancing food security in our community. We are seeing here that in agroforestry, some of the trees and shrubs grown on the farms are sources of food. Like we are seeing Mr. Susan harvesting guava and is going to take home for eating, which is an example of how agroforestry enhances food security in our communities.
On agroforestry, we talked about having pastures or having grass on the farm. Mr. Susan is doing the harvest. That's one of the pastures. It's called Kongosigino. So he's harvesting for our animals. It's very, very important on the farm to have pastures and other feeds for the animals. So we talked about having shrubs on the farm. That is coriander. Most of the people use it differently, but its major importance or its major use on the farm, it's being fed to animals. Animals that are having a low milk production, that is the medicine that can be given to them. And you remember very well that we are in agroforestry and ecological and ecological organic agriculture. So we have tried to bring in each element, reflecting it to ecological organic agriculture and agroforestry.
This farm, you also have different varieties of trees, like we have jacaranda and other varieties as we see. These trees are very important in the ecosystem because they help to reduce the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and that is carbon sequestration, and help also to make sure that they reduce the climate to prevent climate change. That helps mainly in preventing global warming. As we see, they've got a lot of roots. The roots help to improve soil structure and prevent soil erosion. Also, when the leaves drop down, they help to increase soil fertility. And therefore, it is important to have different varieties of trees on the farm. And that's one of the importance of agroforestry.
It's a bed where we raise our tree seedlings, different varieties. Remember, we are still on agroforestry. Not only the tree seedlings, but we also have the fruits, of course, bringing the element of the food security and other tree varieties or other species. So this one is called Musizi. Musizi, it's a very good tree that it helps in soil structure and soil fertility building, as in improving the soil structure and the soil fertility. These are the jackfruit different varieties that of course helps in the food security. Food security means briefly it's having different food varieties on the farm and throughout the year, all year round. So we have the passion fruit seedling. The other side we're having rosella. We have the soursop seedlings. Then we have the guavas and all different fruits and tree varieties. We have them on the farm.
Susan harvesting pasture from different grasses and different shrubs to act as a fodder for the animals. We can see him now feeding the cows, and those most of the pasture, especially calendula, helps in milk production, and that is very important in enhancing the food security. Which I can see that the cow dung which is got from the cows can be taken back to the gardens, and that will help in improving production, and that will also improve or enhance our food security.
This is it's a hydroponic system whereby we raise the azolla. Azolla it's fed to animals. It highly has proteins. So people who are feeding animals and they use soya, they can instead be using the azolla. So the azolla still brings in the meaning or takes us back to agroforestry. Yeah.
Agroforestry, we can have a mixture of crops like coffee, then which can help improve our income. We are seeing crops being mixed up with the trees. We have got here bananas. So we can see the leaves dropping from the trees, and it help to improve on the soil moisture and improve soil fertility. We are seeing the coffee can provide the shade, and trees can also provide the shade. So this is a mixed up of the trees and the gardens and the plants, crops in the same area, in the same garden. We come now and talk about the benefits that the tree species and the herbs and the shrubs, what they contribute to the ecosystem services. This one requires to how the human beings benefit from the trees and shrubs on the agroforestry systems. You have provisional services. These are products obtained from the ecosystem that help to meet basic needs of human beings. So we have food, like we saw, the trees providing food, and the forest can also provide fresh water. We have raw materials, which are used like for firewood and for timber. Then you have fresh water, the vegetation, sometimes they help in rainfall formation. Medicinal sources, there are some medicines or herbs that grow, that medicine which we get from herbs. Then it can also regulate water flow. Then you can have regulating services. They can help to regulate the climate of the place. You can also purification of water, remove toxic substances in the water. Then when these materials, the plant materials decompose, they help in the cycling of nutrients. Then, as we said, carbon concentration is important. Then it can also help to protect us from floods and prevention of soil erosion. Then supporting services. These are services necessary for the production or maintenance of all the other ecosystem services. They include things like primary production, help production of carbon, organic matter from the process of photosynthesis. Then helps in the production of atmospheric oxygen. Then nutrient recycling, as I've explained. Then water cycle. Then it can also help provision of the habitat for animals. And then also helping in maintenance of genetic diversity, because we have got different varieties as we saw. Then it can also help in cultural services. Some of these trees varieties on the agroforestry systems can help in values, in those education values, and can also help in study purposes, and also in scientific research, and the social relations like in cultural ceremonies. So those are some of the services, the ecosystem services provided by the agroforestry systems. Thank you.
Thank you for watching this video. As members have already seen, the importance of the agroforestry, its utility in the ecosystem. We see that the purpose mainly lies in food diversification and also environmental protection. We realize that where it is possible, the environment itself is monitored and is kept safe together with the livelihood in relation to the food saturation. Thereby, I recommend everybody to start on with agroforestation. It is the best and it is the only opportunity which one can manifest and utilize for the best in that the food saturation and the environmental organisms are all maintained at the optimum. I yours remain Musesu San Chaku.